Hi, I'm Dana, and we are back to at least like the regular sort of setup, but it is going to continue to be quite a rambly video like they have been. I swear I will get back to more like focused content. I just don't really have the brain to make focused content right now. Today's video feels like sort of the bridge between Burnout Diaries and my more like normal focused content, because I've not long turned 28. I turned 28 in March, and I don't think I have ever felt more immature and childish, and like I don't understand the world or how anything works, and like I'm just incapable of being a human adult, essentially. I've never felt that more intensely, and it's one of those things that I feel like I feel more and more the older that I get, and it's especially weird because it does feel like I've done some sort of like Benjamin Button thing where like I was so growing up as a child, and I'll give like, if you've watched any of my other videos with my family and stuff, it's because I kind of had to be, but you know, like it was also like, I think to a point, just the way that I was and the person that I was. And it's one of those things where as a child, as like an 8-year-old, that was insanely growing up and mature, and I was like so wise beyond my years, such a little professor and all that kind of thing. And I don't feel like I've necessarily changed or progressed from that, but I've kept getting older. And there's a certain point where like I caught up with that maturity level when I was maybe like 18, and I don't feel like I've progressed away from that, you know? I don't feel like I've gotten any further along with that. Like, as much as I have absolutely, like, my emotional maturity is definitely improved. I definitely, you know, like, I have learned things from life, and I have increased my range of skills and my knowledge of how people work and how social interactions work and what I think is morally correct to do to people and things like that. Like, I have progressed and grown as a person, but I don't necessarily feel like my maturity has, essentially, you know? Like, I've always been someone that's like a little bit quirky, a little bit creative and so on, you know? I've always been someone that like heavily decorates my bedroom and likes to wear fun clothes and likes to wear clothes of like my special interests. And I think I always kind of felt like there would come a point where I outgrow that, you know? I sort of thought that perhaps lots of people were more like me, and they just outgrew it as they got older and they started wearing more boring clothes and they started, you know, hanging up a print of New York City instead of the fun stuff that they enjoy and things like that, you know? Like, you get older and you don't have time to indulge in your special interests and the things that you enjoy as much anymore. And I feel like I've like been waiting for that to happen, and it hasn't. And now I'm 28, and I feel like I'm just so much mentally younger than the people around me, than people my age, than people that, you know, like should be my peers. I don't feel like I'm peers with them. I feel like it's hard to relate to most people in that regard, you know? Otis, do you have to lay on my laptop, really? Like, that's where it's always delightful meeting other autistic people and talking to other autistic people, because I feel like it is only other autistic people that, I don't know necessarily how to put it into words. It's the thing of like, they just, I don't want to say that like autistic people don't have personalities, because that's absolutely not true. But it is also a case of like, I so often talk to autistic people and I want to know like what kind of music they like, what kind of TV shows they're into, what kind of fashion inspiration they take, things like that. And they just sort of don't. And I'm like, that's fine. But I don't know what to ask. I don't know what to take from this. I don't know what you're giving me. And it feels like the fact that I'm asking those questions and they're the things that I'm invested in and interested in, and that I, you know, invest my time into and everything, it feels like it's just incredibly childish and immature. And that's why it feels like other people have grown out of it. But also, I don't feel like I've really found other people other than autistic people that were like that to fucking begin with. And that does make me think to some level, it's like, oh, it's just an autistic trait, it's just part of being autistic. But alongside that, like, I don't necessarily like it for myself. I'm always wary of saying that I like don't like specific parts of like my personality or my autistic traits or whatever, because I don't want to put across that they're bad things, because I don't usually think they are. they're just things that I wouldn't necessarily choose for myself. And I think some level of it is still working through like my internalized ableism and accepting that like I am an autistic person and I will come across and behave and be perceived as an autistic person because I am. And I don't necessarily love that. And I feel like that's an especially weird thing to like, not necessarily weird, but like, it's not perhaps something people would expect when like I have an entire YouTube channel around autism. I talk about autism on TikTok, you know, like my online presence is essentially, hi, I'm autistic. And it's like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, well, I have to. You know, like I can't change it. I tried real hard to hide it and pretend I wasn't, and it didn't work out for me. So I'd may as well at least try to fucking embrace it and deal with it and come through with it. And it does also feel like there's a point to which people are perceiving me and being like, she's childish and weird and strange and quirky and odd and weird and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, I can shut that down by being like, I'm autistic, you know? And sure, that comes with its own like whole new class of like stigmatizations and bullshit and whatever else and things that people think that aren't right and stereotypes and the like. But I'd also kind of prefer that over them just being like, what an immature little child. I don't know. And I do think that there's also like an extra level of difficulty that I have with it. Otis is washing and he's not washing the spot that I don't want him to, so I'm gonna let him. But he does make a lot of noise while he does that, so I'm sorry if you can hear him, but he's my baby and I'm never going to tell him to stop doing anything. But yeah, there is also like the added level of like, I have sensory difficulties in a way that I think we often associate I think as a society, we often interpret sensory difficulties as something children go through and you outgrow them or you learn to like cope with them in a way that's invisible and that doesn't affect or, you know, isn't something that other people notice. And for me, it's a case of like, no, I have to cater to myself in various different ways that people most probably do find quite childish and immature and do make me look a certain way. And I do think that I'm also in this position now and not like so much sooner and earlier because it's the first time I'm living on my own. It's the first time that I don't really have any like in real life friends around me. And I'm slowly realising how many things people never fucking taught me. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm trying to get sorted and sort out and deal with that I've technically done before, but I did it with a lot of support and help. And a lot of the time, it's not even that I did it with support and help, you know, it's that I sat there and I asked someone for help, and rather than help me do it and show me how to do it and have me learn anything from the situation, they did it for me. And at the time I was like, oh fuck, thanks, that's great, because I was so anxious about it. But now that I need to deal with it on my own, I don't have a fucking clue. I have no idea. I've just not been taught that. It's like I'm a child all over again, you know? And just having to deal with like growing up life things, which just saying it like that, I feel like I sound like I'm like fucking 14. But like with Otis's vet trip, things like that. Like, I say things like that. When it's Otis, he's my child, he's my baby, he's my everything. I will do whatever the fuck that cat needs me to do. I will pay whatever he needs me to pay. Like, if he has an issue, we are getting it fucking looked at, we are finding out what's wrong, we are dealing with the issue, we are looking after him. It's non-negotiable, you know, like I have a little tiny baby life in my hands and I'm going to make sure that I do my fucking best for him. If he needs the vet, we're going. I have a whole variety of health issues. I've got a dodgy stomach, I've got dodgy joints, I'm in pain like nearly all the time, I keep losing strength in my hands like currently just really ache for no fucking reason. Like I have like a weird fucking scalp dermatitis thing going on. I have an array of health issues. I could go on. Making myself a doctor's appointment, going to I will fully neglect myself. I will fully just not do the things that I need to do for myself. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's on my mind all the time. I'm so anxious about like my health issues and all the things that I probably, like things that I'm forgetting about, things that I need to get done. All of it's there all the fucking time and I'm so anxious about it. I think about it daily and I just can't do it. I can't fucking deal with it. A lot of the stuff that I need to deal with, I never learned how to deal with because other people just did it. I honestly felt more mature and capable when I moved out at 16 than I do now at 28. And it's honestly like kind of horrifying and terrifying and I don't enjoy it at all. And I do think some degree of it is like the whole autistic skill regression and autistic burnout and like, you know, there's multiple elements going into it. But this is like currently a really massive fear and anxiety that I have, because I'm getting emotional. I don't mean to, I'm sorry, but I genuinely feel like I'm some like fucking 13-year-old that has no clue what I'm doing, that's just been left alone in a house. And I'm like, I've got to keep myself alive and I've got to keep my cat alive. And it shouldn't be that much of an issue to just keep myself alive and care for my cat. But it takes fucking everything in me. I still don't feel like I'm doing it properly. You know, like he had to go to the vet. He's having to wear a stupid little vest. Like, for as hard as I'm trying and as much as like he's gained some weight, because I was like, he lost weight while my housemate was here because he couldn't graze feed because their cat was allergic to stuff, and he was losing weight, and he's regained that weight, so I'm really happy about that. But I don't feel like I'm doing fucking well enough for either of us. But also, if I didn't have him, I'd give up, you know? Like, I know I just said it, but I'm going to reiterate that I feel like I'm a literal child that has been left alone in a house with a cat, and that cat is like the support that I have and the thing that's keeping me going. And it's a massive constant struggle, especially the last couple of days. I've been eating at like, I've had my one meal of the day at like 11, 12, 1 a.m. Like, I'm it's getting into the next day before I've even managed to eat my first meal of the day. I did the big tidy for when I did the big tidy when my housemate moved out, and then managed to maintain that because there wasn't someone else just in here messing up my space. So I maintained that and then did another, like, I didn't need to do like a big tidy, but I did like a tidy around because I had a friend coming to stay for a few days. And it means that it hasn't gotten like horrible, but also I am struggling to maintain just even that. Like, it is tidy and nice, and I'm struggling to even like keep it that way. And I really feel like I'm a kid waiting for my parents to come back off holiday or something, and they've given me like 2 weeks to see how I do on my own, and I've managed it, but it's been fucking hard. But I have to keep doing this forever. My parents, fucking hell, that's the last thing I needed to be thinking. Well, I feel like this, my parents aren't coming back. It's just me out here. And I feel like a child. I don't feel like I'm equipped to do this. You know, like shit, sorry, I'm not gonna actually cry, I swear. I'll fucking turn it off without doing an outro before I do that. But it very much relates back to the fears and anxieties that I had before my housemate moved out. And it does feel a lot like they're coming to life. And like, I can't look after myself. I can't maintain this stuff. And there's a level of which I'm like, well, yeah, that's being diagnosed with level 2 autism and substantial support needs and not receiving any support. And having a fucking lifetime of trauma behind me that I'm trying to like now work through and fix and heal from and shit. But like, I'm gonna figure it out, don't get me wrong. I don't intend to like worry people, but I currently don't know how the fuck I'm gonna figure it out. I can't keep it up. I can't keep on like this. This is not a long-term thing that I can keep up with, you know. I can't think of a fucking word. There's a word. It's not sustainable, that's the word. Like, it just isn't, you know? Like, my housemate moved out April 7th, and it's June 17th, and I'm like, towards the end of my fucking tether, I don't know how I'm meant to keep going like this, you know? I emailed my fucking local autism charity. Like, I had a friend write the email for me because like I couldn't even figure out what the fuck to say, and then I edited it slightly so it sounded like my words. They've just fucking blanked me. My last housemate did the whole like, we can accommodate to each other, we can look after each other, and then I was basically their living maid while they did fuck all for me. They said like, oh yeah, at some point like social services will come around and they'll help you. I heard fuck all, just got dumped by all that. Like, I do not know what I'm supposed to do because I feel like I've reached out to the places that I'm supposed to reach out to. And no one fucking does anything, no one helps me. The fact that I can advocate for myself and I can be the person that's saying, hi, I need help, they're just like, oh, well, you don't then. And like, I can't live like this. I'm about to run out of groceries, and I cannot imagine leaving the house to go and get some of those. Like, I'm not leaving the house while he's like this, and he needs the screen for the next 12 days. So I'm not leaving the house for 12 days, but I also do not have the money to be ordering in. Like, I'm not trying to do this as like a pity me, feel sorry for me thing. This is I feel like there's lots of us living out here like this. It's definitely not just me. And I don't know what the fuck I'm meant to do. it's one of those things where I want to be like, I have faith that I'll work it out and manage it, because I've always worked out and managed it before. And it's like, I haven't. I've just jumped from person to person that offered to help me, and then realised they're actually a bit of an arsehole and backed out again, you know? Like, I've not actually managed to fucking sort anything at any point. I've just gotten through shit, and I'm exhausted of it. Like, I just so often look at other adults and I'm just like, how are you doing that? How are you being like that? Like, especially like now that I'm 28 and I'm looking at like 22, 23, 24-year-olds, I'm just like, I really can't do that. Like, shit, you know? And I know people always tell you like, oh, don't compare yourself to others and stuff. And it's like, no, but like, I'm not doing it in a like, a making myself feel bad kind of way. I'm doing it in a, I literally cannot look after myself in the way that an adult should. I need some help and support with this, because I am a disabled, vulnerable person that currently has no support. Like, I don't want to say no support, because like, you guys on the Discord really fucking help me out. But you know, like, I need to eat. I need to do my laundry. I need to make sure my cat's okay. I need to budget money appropriately so that I can fucking afford food. I'm also constantly too hot at the minute, because lovely British summertime. I hope I didn't like this until August or September or whatever. But I can't have my fan on because it makes the most horrible noise in the fucking world. And also, I don't have a freezer, so normally I'd freeze like towels and stuff so Otis doesn't get too hot. I don't own a freezer anymore. I'm terrified of him overheating. That's a topic for another video, really. Basically, everything I own, I bought ages ago, and now it's all breaking. I don't have the money for repurchasing stuff. So that's awesome and fun. I'm just incredibly stressed and anxious right now, and I'm really not having a good time. And I know this video is a bit depressing and a bit I know that for people that aren't in this position, I know you're probably going to feel a bit bad for me. You don't need to, I promise, I'll be alright. But like, it's very much for the other people that feel this way, you know? It's very much for the relatability factor. Because, as always, as much as I hope you guys find it relatable and I hope it helps someone out there, when you then comment and say like, oh, I find this relatable because I'm in this position, I'm like, oh, thank God it's someone else too. You know, like, I get the feeling that you get from watching the video, from reading the comments saying that like you're in a similar position, or you've been there and it's gotten better, or like you know how it feels and stuff like that. So yeah, obviously that's me rounding up this video. I also am wearing shorts, I'm not pantless. But if you want me OnlyFans, honestly, if I had the body confidence, I'd have started an OnlyFans like 5 years ago. It's not for me. So yeah, as always, if you'd like to comment, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be very, very cool. If you want to follow me over on Instagram, Blue Sky or TikTok, you can. I post sometimes over in those places. You can also find me on Ko-fi and Patreon if you wanted to help me out a little bit financially. It is Pride Month and I am gay, but you don't have to, there's no pressure. Like, as much as I get very anxious about money and complain about it a lot, I also, you know, like, I'll manage, it'll be fine. I've been here before, I've got a bag of rice in the cupboard, you know, like, I'll survive, it'll be fine. I've just done Otis's big food shop order, which is, between his vet and his food, that's why I don't have a lot of money right now, but we're gonna be fine. Oh, wee little man. Before I go, do you want to see his silly little vest? So, whoever you are, wherever you are, if you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, this is my poor little man. The sweetest baby, your poor little boy. His little vest.